So I wanted it to be really beautiful because every other baby bottle in the world, you can like, I mean, I don't need to name names. Like just pick a major baby bottle, walk out on the street, cover up the baby bottle nipple, ask any Joe Schmo what it is, and they're going to be like, that's a baby bottle. Like, because it's got the measurements. It's just so institutional, so industrial. Maybe if you're lucky, it's got like a butterfly or a duck on it, right? But the whole thing is like, what do you do with them between kids? Like, where do you put them? Like, do you throw them away? Do you recycle them? Are they part of landfill? Do you know anyone intimately enough that they want your used breast milk or formula bottles? Or do you put them in the basement or the attic and you're waiting for a child? Like, Heather, you dealt with all of that. I mean, I had a miscarriage between kids. So there was 4 years between them. And it's like, what do? Right? Do you throw them away? Or does it just take up all that space? Why can't baby bottles be insanely beautiful? So the chiller that I invented that addressed all the limitations of the cooler, it seems like a small thing in that, you know, it looks like a Yeti. Everybody says, oh, it's a Yeti. It's a Hydro Flask that you use for your breast milk, but it's patented. It's 2 chambers. You can put ice in one chamber, your breast milk in the other, but it can hold more breast milk. So 27 ounces over 20 ounces, and it can keep it cold for 20 hours with a handful of ice. And you can find ice anywhere. Most women can find it in their home.
That is a long time.
Right? And then when you run out of time, rather than being toast, cooked, done, like with the coolers, because if that ice pack is spent, it's all over. You just find ice and you're back in business for another 20 hours. Like 83% of moms start out wanting to breastfeed. And by the time they get to 6 months, that is pretty much cut in half because women have to go back to work and they're trying to live their life and they don't really have meaningful options. They don't have the tools. They don't have the support. They don't have the information to be successful. So, and then the AAP comes out with a recommendation, the American Academy of Pediatrics, of breastfeeding for 2 years. And it's like, great. How do we do that? So yeah, so I would say the world's gotten better. The fact that you and I and Jeremy are having this conversation is huge. The fact that Ceres Chill exists, the fact that pumps can now be covered by insurance and easily bought on Amazon at all range of prices is huge. The fact that you and I, though, are telling the same story about failing our kids and not knowing about donor milk, and that was a 10-year difference in when our kids were born, bonkers. Dr. Hind has an actual TED Talk on this subject where she talks about how there is more research on the value of eating tomatoes, drinking red wine, or erectile dysfunction, like any one of those, like individually, than all of the world's research on breastfeeding and breast milk put together. Like any one of those has more research articles, more publications than all of the research on breast milk, period. And that's every human being's first food.
That's
at least
bonkers.
Right?
Say that a lot on this show.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
That's a good
like,
word
let
for
me
it.
pick my jaw up off the floor. Excuse me.
Yeah, I have other words, but bonkers is a really good
I'm sure you do.
So what she talked, I mean, what changed is during COVID, I mean, a lot of the concern around how do we keep infants safe? Does COVID pass through breast milk? All of those questions helped us get more research about breast milk overall. What sucks, what really, really keeps us going, gets me mad, is that right now with the state of the world, and it's changing thanks to podcasts like yours and really angry moms like me, I'll say. Yeah, but breastfeeding is the privilege of a bougie, educated white woman. You have to have some maternity leave, some support, insurance, being educated on the advantages of breastfeeding, and then being able to advocate for yourself. And I failed there. I failed my daughter in that way. And so I look at all the advantages I had, and even I couldn't be successful and I couldn't show up in that way. And I made a choice to work. I felt rather than breastfeed because I felt that that was my choice that I had to make. Individual goals, like when I think about moms, Jeremy, this is what I'm thinking of, is what you were saying. I want a mom to have bought this for herself, to have somehow made it to whatever her goal was for breastfeeding, whether that's 1 month or 2 years, and to be sitting on a beach watching her 6-year-old play in the surf, like in, like, let's say Costa Rica. She's sitting on the beach watching her daughter play in the surf, and she is sitting there drinking a daiquiri out of her chiller thinking, I did that. Like, cheers to me.
Cheers to me.
I made that happen. I paid for this vacation. My daughter is a healthy child, and I
still have this
Yes.
bottle that represents the
Yeah.
massive accomplishment, right? Milestone.
Yes.
So many things that are
Exactly.
so important to us moms.
This has been a Shut Up production.